from the list itself, I checked some of them that, did I get any of these entries? For me, I did get the range here. I did buy that at 108, like 108.20 or 108.80. I don't know which one it was. I got filled on this. I did not buy this, but this was a really, really good buy, like 24.5. And this was our target, if you guys remember. This was a pretty good entry here. This one here, if you guys remember, this is not bad. I don't have a lot, but this is not a bad ad on this. I didn't look at this. We should have looked at it. I think it's gonna dump pretty heavy. So from this other list here, I think we need to look at Zscaler, right? Because I think they had, I would say maybe a bad ER or something. I'll just quickly look at it. Yeah, so they're back there, but not at the buy level. I want them at the 100 level. So we'll be looking, we'll produce a new list, right? And see if anyone finds any other stocks that you guys want to look at, we can take a look at, but we'll run the list, see what's good. And then it can also kind of confirm our swings for, options. If we find something that's on the bottom and the top that looks weak or vice versa, I think we can go ahead and basically use it to our advantage, right? For setting up swings and confirming with other strategies that we use, whether it's volume profile or what that might be. Let me not do that.
Shorty, from that list, about 5 stocks got triggered.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't buy all that
okay.
potentially been triggered, but some of them are, I would never personally, even if it triggered, I would not buy some of these, right? It was some of them were for people that were looking for them, like you. I'm not interested. This one I'm interested. Crowd, I'll watch. Adobe, I wouldn't buy it here. CRM, I would love to buy it, but I don't know if we got the best entry on that. So there are some stocks, right, that are preferred, some that are not. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I can't add all of these, right? Otherwise, I would need billions of dollars to buy them in the quantities. I'm looking for a few, and then I add a little bit of position to it in my kind of like a strong-term portfolio. Okay. All right, so let's see where we are. And I just like to kind of see, what I'm searching for. I'm looking at the bottoms, right? So this is going to be, I believe, monthly bottoms right now. And it has some criteria, right, where we're looking for certain volume for 90 days, greater volume daily over 500. So it's going to eliminate a lot of those stocks that don't have liquidity, and I don't care for them, right? It can be a good stock right now, but there's no volume. I'm not going to be buying it. So if you guys look here, there's some interesting stuff. Like if you guys look at this one just popped into my head, the Morgan ETF Trust Ultra Short. I actually have never seen it. I know a few other ones from JP Morgan, but I haven't looked at, for instance, this one here. And the good thing is you guys can also do this on your straight clouds as well. You guys can kind of watch it. So we are on the bottom of this cloud monthly bottom. So there's a potential that you can get it. But look at the reaction here. I mean, 50 to 20, I would not trade that. That the ranges are so tight, and I don't even know what they do and how they pay out the leverage. So I wouldn't care for it, but I just noticed from sentiment they're at the bottom of the monthly here. So that 50 level seemed to produce some bounces. So I would maybe just use it and see how it compares to the market sentiment. If I look at real estate, not much that I'm seeing here that I would know. I see, in communication sector, Google's there. I think Google is not bad, honestly. I think Google, like a super long-term trade, I think is pretty good. I would, I have some shares in this range from before. I probably don't need to add more for myself, but this is a pretty good level here, because once Google crosses this 95, there's going to be a high chance you at least go to 100 and then you go to 110. So if you think about percentages, I mean, if it goes to here, that's 10% gain all the way up to here. So this is not a bad level for it. Is there a chance that you might get the weekly bottom here? If you're able to break that level here, I would say yes, there's a chance, but depends what your stop loss and risk management is. This might not be a bad level where we were at $90 if they give an entry there on Google. So I would probably mark this one for, let's see, there's multiple clouds here. And I'll target probably like 106 to 108. 106 would be first. Does that make sense on Google? I'll definitely watch this. You can get this probably 10% here to play. And then of course, if you break 117, you have a really high chance to fly. And eventually will. I know they're consolidating here for some time. They're getting these spikes, but this might be a good ad on Google here. Okay. Let's see. I'm not interested. I'm not. Anyone needs Roku?
Yeah, they would.
You like Roku? Let's see. Ooh. So we're just smashing right now. So we're above the monthly. Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in potentially buying it here. Honestly, I think it's in a major bear flag too. Yeah. If it goes over 75 right here, then it might be a go level, but man, I would not be interested in it right now. I'll be looking to short it here fairly soon, maybe off of 68 because they popped above it. If they come up here under, might not be a bad short actually. But that's so I would not be going long on this one. Seems overextended. Let's see if you see something. So here's your Verizon. So if you're gonna be, if you look at this Verizon here, it's really deep into the monthly bottom. So if we are able to break this, you could potentially get like 35. That'd be a really good level to buy. But I'm pretty sure if they hold this daily bottom here, which they are, and they reclaim 38, I think they go to about 40. So if you're willing to play that, for 5%, that's great. But this is for me, I buy Verizon because of the dividends. So for me, anytime it's in this range, it's not honestly a bad buy. And if you guys look here, if you're able to get this 35ish, and that was that one weird wick, if you guys recall, they had a glitch or whatever it was, and it got impacted and still printed here. Anywhere, but for me, 35.30 is an ad on Verizon. So I mean, I can keep it here forever, but I'll always add it. And this is my long-term portfolio that I would add. Okay, let's see. Crowd, somebody wants crowds. Yes, probably. So this is not a bad buy. And I think crowd was on our list before 9093. I guess that one worked perfectly, guys. I don't know if did anyone grab this crowd? And our target was 122. So that one pretty much, that one gave you like 20% return. Did anyone play this or you guys were not playing it?
I think after at last watch list, it was already above that entry levels, and we were waiting
Oh,
for
it
it to come
was?
down. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know when we did it, but this one came back to 97. I mean, if it can hop over this level, it opens up space. I just don't know what the Zscaler did. Supposedly bad earnings. So honestly, Zscaler at this level, I will add it into my portfolio. So I will definitely put Zscaler here. So I would look to add this somewhere here. If they dip it all the way to the bottom of the monthly, that'd be great. But this is starting to return now. I don't think they'll hold this. I think it's gonna go to 100 here. So I'll definitely watch that one. I like that stock. If you guys see something, let me know. Going down the list. Anyone want to look at, I don't know, Bell or what this is? Bell Holdings. Anyone know what this is? I mean, this was a strong bounce. Monthly bottom, daily bottom, weekly bottom's there, and it bounced perfectly here, 82. I don't know what that is, but D-Dog, anyone?
Shorty, going back to Bill, what kind of price target would you be looking at?
If I knew what that was. I mean, anywhere here on the monthly bottom, this 87.5 would indicate that it's most likely going to do a reversal and come back to 87 here. So that would be a bullish money shot kind of on the monthlies. I want to go here, come back, then you have about 92. So potentially get 10% on that. But the daily top would be a good target. Yeah. If you're able to, buy here, hold the break on here, you have a high chance getting this here. So that'd be good, 20%, 20 plus.
Nice,
Or
thank
right
you.
at 20%. Can put that if somebody wants to. So we will look for that one. What's RPD? Ugh, no. D-Dog. D-Dog. No one cares for it. Be 73 to 70. And that would be the 4 hour. I mean, ideally 70 monthly bottom there. It's just not the best setup for long. It has so much resistance once it gets there. Honestly, it would be tough for me to even buy this right here. I would want it. I'm looking here. I would want it at the weekly bottom because it doesn't have much clearance anywhere. And I want to see the space. So if it can come to 60s, 55 to 60, that'd be great. And if that happens, I think targeting 80 here or 91, but that's a long-term hold. I'll probably target, if I was to get this, it'd be 70, 80 and trends. I just don't know. Their fundamentals don't line up to maybe what I want them to be. Let's see. Any that you guys see that you need? Shop. See what shop did. We had it on the previous list. You guys remember the shop? Orphan back to management, ideal entry around 7. Not interested just yet. So, I mean, what happened here? Was it their earnings? Wow, they really got destroyed. 57 to 40. Wow. Yeah, I mean, same story. I think last time when we talked about this, it was over 40. It was somewhere over 40s. I remember it. So I wouldn't be interested just yet. Needs to go to this weekly bottom, about $30 if you want to go for. So same line.
Shorty, can you check Pinterest?
What's the ticker for it? PIN?
PIN.
PIN. Yeah, it's about to get rejected.
Isn't Pinterest PINS?
Oh, okay. I've never traded it. Man, it is stuck. Breaking this level here at 23 is an easy short for $3 here. I would personally, I would not go long here. Let me just look at this on the weekly time frame. Yeah, I mean, you have a high chance once you lose this level here, even the, I would say losing 24.83 brings it back in trouble. It's just consolidating here for a very long time. I mean, since, well, March of last year, or yeah, March of last year till now. I mean, it's been consolidating here. In terms of clouds, over 30 would be interesting to 43. You could run that because it would get momentum here. On the short side, I mean, it's below 24, that level 24.83. You have a chance to goodbye at 20, and then you could probably play 20% here the whole time in between this range. Is just a very slow mover. It's not like it's moving a whole lot. So, I mean, if you're buying at 20s, you have to be considering 24 and 28. So, I mean, you could get your 20% pretty much in between these levels. I would, till we break 30, I would not be very, very bullish on it. And then I would short the low, long here till, you know, especially here, 18 level. If you can catch that, that'd be great. The monthly bottoms. Because it seems to hold that every time it comes. But I really don't know about their earnings. I don't even, is that the social platform?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not Snapchat, right? This is something different. I'm confusing it with Snapchat. So yeah, I mean, that would be the way I play it. If I can get somewhere close to 20 for shares, I would buy it. I personally would not buy it at 28 at these resistance right here areas. I would wait for them to bring it down. And I don't know their financials, what they do. I guess advertisement is their key revenue. Does that help to put that on our list? But
Yes, thank you.
it's gonna be okay. Let's see. DocuSign. Let me look at Docu. Can't believe this was $300 at one point. I mean, if they're able to reclaim this level here, they have a lot of space. Honestly, this can take off. Like if it breaks this level, this is pretty much what's in the way. Long-term hold would be this. So maybe if you want to trade this one differently. So that one's not bad. And I think Cathy Wood's been buying it. And I know some companies are adopting their stuff, especially in the service industry for contracts, procurement. I think they're all using Docu. Anyone want anything else from IT here?
When you get a chance, can you look at Dash?
Let's look at Dash. Yeah, so for Dash, I mean, they're stuck here. They're really at the weekly bottom. Shares wise, probably around 42. for me, but I just don't like that company. I don't like their maybe model. I don't know if that's the only thing they do. So, you know, on a really bullish scenario where if we were to kind of start exploding over 70, sends it to 104 on Dash, that would be the most probable scenario, long-term hold. But if I add the daily clouds, you know, this is your midterm range. Break of 59, you get 65 here. So you can probably get 10, you know, 10% between here if you break above this. Go here and come back. This will be your entry here. So break of 57. And the 7 or 59, 5907. So I would probably play options on this if I was to play, and I don't even know if they have good options. This is what I would play, but for, you know, if I was to buy shares, I would buy them at 40, 42. And you might have to wait for that a little bit. Anyone want PayPal? Yeah, PayPal, I mean, it would take a miracle now. If they break 70, you want to be looking at that 67 bounce. Or you could buy, you know, I could buy 70 here, and then my, you know, stop loss would be, well, below 60 and below. This is inside monthly. Coin, I would not buy that. CVS coming up to a good entry here. Looks pretty good. So this is not a bad add here.
I think I might add that tomorrow.
This is not a bad add. I'll probably add some, not a lot, but my target would be about 9,900.
Okay.
So it's pretty good, 25% or so to the top.
I think CVS options aren't too bad from what I remember as well.
Yeah, they move okay. We check Dash. Amazon, I think, you know, depends what your appetite is. I have shares of Amazon still. So, I mean, if you can get it in this range, that's great. Even somewhere, you know, 80 to 84 is ideal. This is probably going to get a bounce all the way to about 102 now. If we break 97, high chance you see it 102. So from swing standpoint, that would be the daily break, right? So I'll definitely watch that. And then, you know, if you break that 104-ish, you get 110. And then obviously over 114, you open up space.
Oh, can we look at McCormick when you get a chance?
Yep, they're at a pretty freaking good spot here. This is a really good spot here. Because once they pop this and they accumulate a little bit more, we could be targeting probably about, you know, 86 or so. So this
What should be
range,
the stop loss on MKC?
Hold on one second. I think I have some of this already. So, but my entry would be here. I would say anywhere between the 71 to 74 is good.
I added some at 73, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, if you break 68 and below, so I would probably say like 67 and a half. 67, or you could even target below 60, we'll call it 64, 5 stop loss, depending on what your appetite is. Mine would be the second.
Okay.
And my targets would be probably around, this is a long-term hold. This is not something I would look to get rid of quickly. Probably be over a year hold.
Okay.
And I mean, this has, it has a potential. Once it starts moving here, at least you can get to 86 over that, targeting 100 is not bad. If it was to get there, I'll probably take my capital gains. Let's see. I'm looking if I know any of these companies here. I really don't.
Everyone knows Hormel for spam.
Yeah, used to work there. So here's Hershey. I mean, this company is honestly really, really good. It's just that you don't have an entry right now on it. If we go below 231, it might be setting up for a potential short. And we can look at the tops as well. But this is a good company. If you can catch it somewhere here, this is great. Or below that. They sell products and they make cash like crazy. Oh, there's our favorite. KMX. Oh my god, let me see what we said on that. That one. God, I hate this company. So, I mean, if they lose this right now, which is, I believe, what is this, weekly mid? They have a $7 drop here in between. I mean, most likely they're headed to 56. So I would not touch that unless you're shorting calls. Yeah, I didn't even know they're open still. I guess they rejected that 34 to 26 level nicely. Shares wise, they'll bounce from 24, so I just don't think that retail business is gonna do great. Anyone interested in any discretionary here?
Kind of curious about Domino's.
Is that DPZ, right? DPZ. Oh, it's at a really, really, really important level. I mean, it's do or die for it right now. Even placing a stop loss somewhere around here below. Here, putting right below, let's say 287-ish. Holding to see if you can catch at least a run to like 320s, 340s, not bad. I mean, this thing was at almost $600. So, and volume wise, it looks like this was the breakout level as well. So I would say there's probably some POC if I don't have it here, but there's probably a POC in this area. Accumulation of some kind. This is not a bad range for it right now. I would just have to look at their financials before I commit to them a little bit. I don't know how much cash they're making now. I'll probably do that.
Thanks.
I'd watch that one. I mean, if Wayfair, I don't know about it. I'm not interested in that. This one's probably not bad. Let's see. This one's coming up on a good level here. Oof, man, we missed this one. Well, let's not really look at this level here, how it came to the weekly bottom, and I mean, it bounced 20 something dollars here, $27 from 70 to here. Weekly bottom. So weekly bottom is good. If they lose this, I would definitely watch this. This is a good company, guys. They make a bunch of shit. Like all of those machines that you guys use, if you're, use any drills, uh, whether it's Stanley or if it's the, what's the yellow brand? I forgot the name of it. They make that as well. So 70 on this one would be.
Stanley Black and Decker.
Yeah, but they make the brand that's totally brain freeze. The
Milwaukee. Oh, DeWalt.
Uh, they own a lot of good brands. You guys can look them up. They own a whole lot. And I'll have to check their dividends. I'm pretty sure they have dividends. I mean, over 99. If you can catch this, you could potentially hold this for a major run. 100, 130. And then 160 would be the targets on this. So I'll probably buy this, put some orders here if it can catch 82, and then I'll re-add a little bit here. This is a good company for me to hold. I have this. What is this? ZWS. Why does it look beat down like that? What? Oh. If anyone's got a second, just look their financials. Just look at their revenue year over year. Why is it down like this? And what the hell do they do? I mean, this is a good range. Because then you have targets of 33, 43. And this has 100% all over it. I just don't know what they do. Yeah. Yeah, I like this. Really, really like this setup. Does anyone have an idea what they do? I would look at this one. This one's interesting. Westrock. There's our Zim. You guys want MM? I already have it. Here's your MM holding for dear life here, and I'm pretty positive we're gonna get a bounce. I would say to at least about 120, 120, 125-ish. I would expect this to go. Hold on tight. Let's see, what else do we have? So this is it for monthly bottoms. I'm just gonna quickly run quarterly to see if there's anything that stands out.
Shorty, last time you did Dominion and Tyson Foods as well. Those are right at the range of
TSN, I believe, right? Yeah, this one will need to reclaim this cloud here, which most likely will do now. So anything over 60, this is still back on the, and I believe they pay dividends. Yeah, they do.
yeah, they did.
And that one, I might have to look into this actually getting it. Yeah, I mean, this is not bad actually at all. Yeah, they're definitely accumulating. I mean, their profits should be going through the roof. I don't know if you guys been buying chicken lately, but it's like you're buying gold. That's a nasty sell-off. So I would, yeah, it's not a bad opportunity here. What was the other one you said? TSN and
Dominion D, the first one. Yep.
mhm. This one's right here. I mean, at 55, this is good. What did we say last time? 58.60. So we would have gotten that here. I mean, this is not bad at all. For you're holding the weekly, you can drive this, or you can wait for to clear this lines of these clouds. I don't think this is a bad ad for longer periods. It's most likely going to come back to 58, so that's the only thing. Then it can execute a bearish backdoor here, and then maybe go pre-COVID highs. Here, is that what this is? No, that's 08. So it hasn't really been here. 50. Ideally, we wanted to reclaim 62 for a long-term hold. Because this would indicate a little bit of bullish reversal. If you're in it, my stop loss here would be below 50, or call it maybe 48 and below would be the stop loss for me. Yeah, I would want it inside the monthly cloud. Okay, for some reason this is not yielding much. Let's see, weekly.
I was looking at ZSS a little bit, like on its side.
Which
It
one?
looks like ZSS, and it looks like they help bring sustainable. Or oh, I'm totally got that wrong. It was
ZWS.
ZWS. Yeah, they help bring sustainable. I think like they help manufacture sustainable things, such as like I saw like water fountains and whatnot on there.
Might not be a bad play. I think water scarcity is coming next. I think they'll be important. I don't know in detail what they do, but if it's anything with water clarity or any of the conversion of salt water, if they have any of that in their portfolio, it might be good.
Okay.
I'll actually take a look at this one. Yeah, somebody posted, I'm reading, somebody posted something. Yeah, I mean, I think it's not bad. I'll add some of it. It's not a flashy name, right? So those usually can do well as well when you don't have masses buying like Google and this. Usually, these are not bad when they're on the bottom like this. So I'll watch this one. This would be a super long term. I think there's a play for it.
Somewhere about two. Well, not somewhere though.
So
It's
that's our weekly here. Let me just see, because sometimes they would overlap here. Looking just to see UNH, did they come down a lot? They need to come down a little bit more. I'll be interested once it's kind of sitting here at the monthly bottom. I would be interested, but it has long ways to go. And they're going to try to hold this trend bar. Once they lose this, they're done. Yeah, force, yeah, right here below this. There's a massive drop, and this was an accumulation zone before. So most likely it's headed here. So the 420 is going to be an interesting level. Probably play options on it. This would be like a long-term swing. Oh, this one's here. There's our 10-year treasury.
Shorty, would it be possible to maybe check TLT after you have
Yeah.
some time? Thanks.
Yeah, this one's looking funny here, huh? Man, that's gonna be a tough level to pass here. The 108. Phew. So if we break 110, I think that would signify that we're gonna be returning to these levels here on TLT. If you break this 110 level, it's gonna explode higher. Anything in 96 area would be actually bullish because I think we would get a bounce here. So if they're able to kind of hop over this, catch 105 or 110, we go crazy on this. This will go pretty fast here in between. It will happen rather quickly here. So we can watch that. Let me just check. Here's your dollar. So a great bounce here off of that monthly mid. You guys see that, like almost perfect. So I would say we're gonna run in the market. Is gonna run till we come back to 102.20 on weekly bottom, and that's when you should probably close your longs. And if we break this 109, 32 here, I think that's when the dominoes start falling down on the market. Because if the DXY is pushing up, they can most likely take off and the market might collapse if this happens right here. This would be the key level for me.
It's an inverse DXY.
This one?
Yeah.
What do you mean inverse? Like this is inverse? That's not inverse. It's just a dollar.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I saw the money. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
It's just a dollar. We're 105-ish. If you guys
Oh.
remember, the bounce was somewhere at like the 98 level. When we hit it, it was the 50% of this run up, I believe. Somewhere here. So the 58 was, yeah, right here was the 50. This is 98 was the other expected level for a bounce here, but we held this one. So if we come back here, I'm pretty sure we might reverse a little bit. Any other tickers you guys got? So this is all the potential for longs. I personally don't see a lot. I would say there's a lot more to be shorting than right now for me to be going long from the, from the famous 5-6 stocks that we have. Go. Let's see, let's switch this one to the monthly tops, just see what sectors are in the top. So there's some real estate right now in the top of the clouds. What clouds am I on? Make sure monthly. Let me look at weekly real quick. EMPH is there.
Options IATIC would like MO, LEG, and Johnson & Johnson. He's got a baby napping, so he can't ask.
Okay, let me do that one since he's got the baby. J&J right at the monthly bottom. I mean, 150 is a pretty good level for it. And this is a massive company, guys. It's not like a NVAX or whatever. This is a giant company. And you're right at the POC level. So I hate to say it, but you can expect some kind of new wires to come in here soon. And they made a lot of money here from the 150s to move it to 188. That's such a big market cap. That's huge. So I think this is not a bad option on this. Yeah, you're right at the monthly bottom, and then MO. Is that two different tickers? MO is one. Is this the ticker?
Yes, MO and then LEG.
Okay, so this one here, I wouldn't be looking for any long opportunities here. I'll be targeting around, whether it's 42 or preferably at the monthly bottom of 39. I know. Are they US based dividend option? Is it a US based company or you get taxed more? Okay. Okay, I'll take a look at this one. That's dividends. Oh, cigarettes. And LEG, is that Lego? No. Lego is not public. You just missed it. Came back to the monthly bottom and I would say this is the level. I don't know what they do, but this should be the level that I play, and they play dividends too. They actually have decent dividends here. Whatever this is, I've never heard of it. Around 30 to 35. Yeah, this is not bad. I mean, if you can get it here, hold it. And this seems like a longer term hold than anything else, because this seems to be a good dividends play, actually. Just looking here. But, if I was to change this one to quarterly, yeah. Ideally, for long-term hold, like ideal would be here, 24. So that's what I would look for. TRK. What's that? Comstock. Is it? What's this? I don't know what this is. But this. I would say about, yeah, $6 on this. Unless it can break this, then you could play that pump from here. If they are able to reclaim this level. Over 14 has 20. So yeah, that'll be there on the monthly bottom. Kellogg is not a bad company to be in a portfolio. And this might be coming back nicely here. And hopefully you guys can see when it hits these key levels, like monthly tops and bottoms, there's usually a reaction. I mean, they're coming here, they're hitting it. I mean, you're down $12 ever since you hit that. So now I would complete the bullish cycle here around 60. So that would be a good spot. And you have this nice accumulation. And now you guys see that there's a trend line here as well that's in play, right? Not that I care too much for, but you could see it, breaking here. And from here on out, this would not be a bad opportunity, about 60. I like this one.
Shorty, can you check KHC?
Yeah. That's also good. But they had some weird price action going for them. So ideally, I would say somewhere around 36 here. They struggled with the weekly top. They'll struggle here as well. They're on their way to 36. So this would be the range to potentially buy them. And then, if you're really patient, monthly bottom is 31, 30. So that would be a good spot for me to go into if I was to hold this. And they also have dividends, so.
Yeah, I have a few shares, but they're like only slightly in the green right now. They're about it. I thought it was gonna go down too.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to get this. I mean, this is a good find. They're a giant company and they're kind of on dividends. They're solid. If you can get this at 31.70, that's a steal in my opinion. Right? It dropped here. If you can catch that or here, that'd be great. I think you can catch this. So I definitely like this
All
one.
right, thank you.
We covered Tyson. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else here. This one I wanted like 170, 180. The Dollar General, I know that one already. This company one time paid really, really well on options. Look at this, 40s to 110s. Yeah, I would have missed. There's our Tesla Q. So this is not a bad ad here. As long as it holds this 40, it's pretty good. What was the NVIDIA NVDS? Okay. Well, if it loses the 1695, call it, that's going to be a stop loss. Yeah, I would add here, but let's see how NVIDIA does. Let me just look at NVIDIA real quick. Okay, NVIDIA has man, they really might run this. Wow. Would that be all-time high on NVIDIA? No. They actually might run this crazy thing here.
61.8% retracement of all-time high is 255.
Yeah. I mean, there's a high chance that they pull this off where they drop it here and they complete this. This would be pretty wild. Because this would mean it reclaimed 200% because it was at 100. Almost 200% increase on the stock in just 1 year or less.
And your revenues are going down.
Yeah, somebody's. Me personally, I would not buy this here. Wouldn't be interested in any of it. I'll be interested really, really to short here. I mean, if they can do this, this would be a really good short. Let me check daily. Daily should be here. So if we're able to break 244, guys, there's they have the gap as well here. I can select it. So, I mean, if you break this 244, there's a high chance you're hitting this 255. So we can use that for, I would say maybe a 2-week swing or something like that. If you can pull that, or if they give you an entry like this, right, where they pop inside this daily here, and they give you a bullish backdoor, I guarantee you there's a high probability that this trade would be a money maker here. you would get this, and this would be a banger here, in my opinion, but let's see. I'll watch this level here on the video. I'm not interested in shares in this. Here, I'm not. AMD, I'm out. I don't have any more shares, but I would watch this again. If it can come back to 60, I'm a buyer. If it breaks this level to the top side, then I know it has 96, pretty clear. So I would do that. We did Amazon already, I believe. Amazon anywhere between 81 and 84 is not bad for me, but I already have shares in these averages right here. For me, it's more of a long-term hold. I'll be looking, for multiple years hold, and it's also in my kids' accounts. It's more of like, 10 to 15 years hold, as long as they don't fuck up in the management side. Like if they're to split certain businesses out, I would be interested, sell sooner, but otherwise I'd be a long-term hold. Quicker levels, if you break over, I would say if you break over that 96, 7-ish, you have a chance for that 102 level, which would be the daily tops. You have $5 here over this level. And I think that's what we put down. Maybe, okay, break on 97 sends it to 102. So it would be this here. If you break this, retest, you go to 102. I would say that'd be a good play on it.
Could we look at a DFEN when you get a chance?
DFEN.
Mm-hmm.
Like this?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Okay. What is this? Aerospace?
Yeah.
Bullish?
I've looked at it in the past, but it's been a really long time. From what I remember, they were in aerospace or defense, one of the two.
I just don't know when they came out with this. I mean, this is fresh here. Seems like somebody's accumulating this. If I was to say anything over 28 looks bullish. Well, it seems like somebody had nasty 2 months of sell-off here. Sent it to $5 and now back to 25.
Gee.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I would be personally a buyer here. I'd be interested somewhere 11.
Okay.
Mhm. Anyone else? Any other tickers? So I think with this list, I can probably, and I don't buy every single one of them from here. I don't have unlimited capital. I would need to look to shift some money from elsewhere, whether I have Amazon too much, kind of look at the percentages, to know what is it doing, right? So if I know the Google is my desired price is here, then I'll be able to quickly kind of target that. And this is my long-term portfolio. So I would not sell this to buy something else. That's how I would look at it. So let me bring up Google. Google is right here at the monthly bottom being. So for me, this is a no-brainer. When I see something as a good company not going away, this is solid. So I would look at this, hold it, and then you can see here. Let's see. I mean, I think over this level here, we are hitting 106. Yeah, monthly is open here. So I think we have a chance here. If you go over this, you're going to catch 106. So I would definitely watch this area, honestly. If we can reclaim this on Google, go over this green cloud, high chance you hit 106. So I would watch that. And then Apple, I'm just not interested in Apple at these levels. This is the areas we identified last time. So this is no trade zone here, the 5 points. If we hop over that 163, it opens it up to 180, but I'm just not interested, honestly. More kind of at 64, I would say 100 would be good, just because you would catch 10% easy, but a long-term hold is somewhere around here. 63s to 50s is my ideal entry on Apple. But these are the range, you know, this is gonna be chop here between 144 and 63. It's gonna move slowly. Okay, RTX. I have shares of RTX. I'm pretty sure I have a really good return so far. But I'm not interested in buying RTX, I would say anywhere here. Because the reason being is there's a lot of resistance here, right? So I would not be shocked if there's some kind of deal for the war to end, and then this dumps all the way to about 78-ish, and I think my average is somewhere in here. I'll check. I would, you know, they pay dividends as well, so that's the only way I'm holding them. I have capital gains, and I just don't want to increase my tax, so I got to hold it for a little bit longer, and then I'll get rid of it. But I don't see any buys unless we're breaking some. There's so much here, man. I just can't. Yeah, I would say this is more of a setup for shorting than it is for buying for me, shorting long. It's just not the best ideal return for me. Yeah, Coke is another one that should be on your radar for kind of shares. I mean, you have the weekly bottom here. Obviously, I like to buy shares if I can. Monthly bottom on Coke at 53 would be ideal. I mean, honestly, that would be beautiful. And even if you get some at the weekly bottom, you could. I'll be interested really, you know, here, or if you can catch the quarterly bottom. I mean, that would be, I think that's to be beautiful here at 42-ish. If you can catch 42, that'd be great. But buying the 53 is gonna be my goal. If I can get Coke at 53-ish, 50, I think it's a great entry.
What's their dividend yield?
On Coke, I don't know, but it's pretty good. Let's see, they're paying, what is this, about 46 cents? So what would that be? I don't know.
About 2%, 1 or 2.
2 and a, what? 2.5? 3-1? Yeah, there it is. So I mean, it's not a bad company. If you know, when I look at these companies, when I'm looking to add into my portfolio, we are kind of in an inflation, you know, deflation type of a scenario. If company has the ability to increase its prices and not impact its market share, it's a company you want to have in your portfolio for this next, you know, 5 years, whatever we go. And same with, you know, Pepsi here is just a little bit more expensive. If we can catch them at these levels or even this level, this would be a good ad, but I would not be adding here. I mean, look, it hit the monthly top, weekly top, and I mean, it dropped $20 from there. So once you lose this level on this one, then I kind of start getting interested, you know, like, hey, I catch you at 150, catch the bounce, probably catch 10% from here to here on the bounce, or be super, super patient, save capital, and catch this 106, 115 area. And if you, so here's your Tesla, same thing, right? And I think Drew remembers this one. Some of you might remember the monthly bottom on this was pretty good. You know, somewhere around here was 118. They came here, defended it, and now it's looking pretty good for short. Unless you break that 230, then you open 254 over 291. This is going to be a major, major level here. Like, this is going to be brutal here. What happens, right? So they have the ability to run it if the market runs. But this would be a really, really potential short entry for a longer hold. Okay. What else do you guys have? So I think this is not a bad shopping list for at least for March to see if we can get some entries. And like I mentioned, I don't buy every one of them. Some of these I already owned. You know, I own this one. I own this one. I don't know any of this right now. I don't. No, I don't. Nope. Nope. I do. I do. I don't. I don't. Just learn about this one. Nope. 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 Nope, nope, nope. This one I don't. Nope. I think my son has maybe 10 shares or something, so I don't consider it really a position. But that's something I would look at. Let's see. Those are the stocks. Let's see. SCHD. What is this? Yeah, just too high for me. Just way too high for me right now. Oh man, it's setting up for a disaster. Yeah, it's setting up for a really bearish play here. What's their dividend like? What did they pay? I'll be interested at 67-ish, so another $10 drop or quarterly bottom, which would be 50. But not here. I think this is setting up for distribution here. Yeah. It's giving a lot of bullish looks to retail here, but this is looking like it's gonna distribute. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I would not be interested in long. I'll keep it on the radar for myself if it's good. What's the expense ratio on it, you know? Cheap, yeah. That's not too bad, I mean, 06. So yeah, I'll be looking, if I can catch this, this would be good. What's the other one? TSAX, I believe. This one is not bad. I also keep this in my kid's profile, but you know, not at these levels. Obviously, I would be looking if you could catch this 68.46. I'd be interested to re-add, but this would be ideal here if I can catch this. And I have in all of their portfolios. I have this. Yeah, that's a really good list. It's almost a list that we just covered pretty much. we had Verizon, Cisco. I don't know. I mean, they're good. They have their switches and whatnot, network stuff. I mean, but this company, the list they have here is strong for that. CRM, yeah, it just ran away too much for me to consider buying it right now. You know, your CRM, I think they're gonna get a pullback, and the 147 would be. No, you didn't options, no. But this would be the ideal if you're going to be playing, you know, the retest of the monthly. I would say this is not bad on CRM. I doubt, and maybe, right, depending on how market behaves, that they'll give me 108 for entry or somewhere anywhere like 130 bottom. So honestly, this becomes all of your buying opportunity right here. Ideally here, but this is not bad right now. It's setting up. If you can reclaim 200, 250 is really, really good. Yeah, on SCHD, the way I'm seeing it here, you know, if I look at this, 67 would be like a, if it was to come back to monthly bottom here, I would, if I was to get in, I would get in here, not anywhere right now. I think we're gonna get the 67 soon, actually. I think it comes back fast. Okay. Any other tickers you guys got? And it's okay if you have something you want to throw out, check, that's fine. Throw it. That's down. Yeah, that one, just, I hate the way it moves. Yeah, it's at the quarterly bottom. I mean, this is the level where you want to be buying it. I just didn't like the way it took so long to get a little bit of return on it. But this is not bad. If you can catch it 22, and I think you might soon. I think we might be able to catch it around this monthly bottom 22, and it looks like we're gonna be running for a little bit here. I think 4150 on ES is coming and 4209. Microsoft, yeah, I'm not. Microsoft is way out of my value entry here. I don't see this as any good entries here. I think they're using all those, what do you call the AI crap and verbiage to pump this, but I'm not interested in it yet. Here, I think it has this trend line, but I would expect it. If I was to buy this long term, I mean, you could catch some at 200. Ideally, be super patient and wait. You will get your entry at 143. Just like I mentioned, AMD at one point, you'll get your entry here. So I don't have these names in my portfolio. I just think they're overvalued right now. Yeah, I'll do UNG, maybe one or two more. I've been talking since 8:30. I'm just getting exhausted right now.
I was gonna say, does somebody still have some nighttime effects going on?
No, man. So I had a 101 from 8:30 to here, and then I have one more to do. So I gotta keep talking.
Shorty, can you do maybe TSM if you have not done it?
Yeah, we'll check that. So I mean, this one talked about this one a few times. I think this one is honestly, this could be like multiple years hold, but you could probably 3 times, 4 times the money. To me, it doesn't make sense. The natural gas is getting killed the way it is right now. And honestly think this is gonna pop like nicely. When it does pop, you're gonna get at least 100% return to here, which you could scale out. And then if you pop over 20, we know something's going on. We're gonna get the 28. But I have some shares of this as well, so I think it's potentially a good return.
Thanks, Shorty.
I like this one. You guys know that. What was somebody said something else? TSM.
Yeah, TSM.
Let's see. It's still not at my still not at my buy level. 71, 70. This range here would be the interested area for me. And if I recall, I think that's where our volume profile also said is somewhere around here, 70s. I think this is setting up for a really good bearish play right now. Setting up for a really disastrous bearish money shot. And if you look here, you're going to be coming up to this 90 level very soon. I would take the 50% of this cloud here, or 61.8. So this range is probably your short entries here, and your reward is from here to here. So I would probably play, if I was to play this short, let it, come here, then you could have a $4 stop loss for a $10 gain, or you could change it to a $3 stop loss, maybe right above this trend bar. So your stop loss would be like this. Maybe that's your stop loss, and I think this is setting up for a really good shot. Didn't Warren Buffett get out of this? He bought it and he got out of it. Isn't that what I read?
Yeah, I
Or
think
maybe
he sold like 80% or 70% of his
there's a
stake.
reason that he's selling. He knows. I mean, think about it. These people with that kind of cash, they get a little bit of Bloomberg insider information before we do. There's no way that a guy, I mean, if you know anything Warren Buffett, if you read anything about, he doesn't buy something and sell it within a year.
Yeah.
It has to be a really, really compelling reason. And I've watched a lot of his interviews and Charlie's. For him to sell something within a year, there has to be a lot of red flags.
Maybe he got some inside news about China. maybe planning.
Exactly. I just think this is, honestly, if I was to look at this on a bigger picture, I'd be interested around 50. Like, I'd be interested at this level here. And I can say that there's a high chance that I get that. If
I
we
think
get some kind of attack right here, I mean, this is, come on. I mean, this is, you know, this is setting up for a potential. This is probably 38.2 that we are in now. I'm telling you, this range here is gonna kill it. So honestly, I like it short. At that level that we talked about, all the way maybe to here. This would be my short, like 93-ish. Where was it? Maybe probably I would play something like, sorry, I meant to activate a little bit more. I would play something like this probably. The 90 level or whatever it was earlier, I would play that to a short side all the way, potentially here for a long-term swing. There's no freaking way he would sell this less than a year. I don't care what anyone says. You do not sell that if you're Warren Buffett, because you're not buying pocket change like Oxy. I mean, if he starts selling Oxy, something's off. You're selling Oxy, or you're buying Oxy, you're selling TSM where a potential war might happen. Wars, what do they do to oil?
Usually goes up, right? In wars.
Exactly. So something smells fishy. I would think, you know, that he wants to get rid of it. And I would think on the weekly and maybe even daily, you know, if I was to grab volume profile, there's some accumulation here that we had. We popped above it, then you had a nasty candle here. This level here is going to be super interesting if you guys look. Like the body low here. I don't know why I clicked on that one. So that level will be brutal for it. Let's see. I mean, it bounced from bottom of this range here of 86. We would just have to check volume on trading. You would see it a little bit better. See if there's any exhaustion, because if this is the range that it's in, like that range right here, then we might be seeing like a buyer's exhaustion here, depending on volume. We'll have to check. But I wouldn't be interested here. Yeah. Shorting, yes. Long, no.
Maybe
I
check
honestly think chips are gonna slow down. This whole AI bullshit is just to create buyer sellers opportunities. Honestly, it's the same shit they did with the artificial, or what was it, the virtual world of Meta, Nike, all that stupid crap.
NFTs, crypto
I just
mining.
think they're creating a need for a chip. Somebody needs to offload a lot of these. And then, like, what was it? SOX was another semiconductor here. It's honestly setting up for a bearish quarterly, bearish weekly. And if I change this to monthly, let's see. This is a monthly mid right here. It looks like a bull flag. I mean, it's setting up for a disaster in my opinion, unless we see something. And look at this. Your SOX is sitting at the weekly bottom, monthly bottoms here as well. So they could have a spike. If you saw that, they could have another spike up, which would sell this to 11. I will be a heavy buyer of this at 11. If this dips to 11, I mean, I'm gonna be all in. I'll take it.
What does SOX do? Is it like from
This
inward?
one is the bears. This one is, I believe it's 1.5. I don't know if, or maybe it's 2. Somebody might know. I actually have some of this right now. I think my average is 1903.
1904.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I don't know what it was exactly, but it's somewhere here where we got it. I know it's around 19. We were up at 1.20% on this. I did sell my SQQ shares right below before that squeeze that we had. I did sell them kind of here-ish right here. I guess I was part of this candle. So this is coming up to an interesting level 34, which could spike eventually to lead to the bullish completion on the weekly. But this is setting up for a buy here as well. So I think we have 2 more days of run up on ES.
J-Paul on Tuesday and then Wednesday
Yeah.
this week.
So this is my long-term picture that I was looking. I'll shift a little bit from the watch list unless you guys have more. And you know, you can send me any tickers you have. I can provide it, or you can look at these clouds that you have now on the straight clouds, and they should be able to help you kind of look at the stocks that you desire. And you see here, for instance, you know, this is SPY. I was looking at some longer levels on SPY and see what's going on in terms of buying and selling. So let me get out of this, go here. Let me close this. Just explaining something. So here's our, these are our monthlies. Let me make sure setups right. So bigger picture, and I mean, I think we identified this perfectly last time we talked about. So kind of into the watch list and the levels. And if you guys look, this was our January value area low, and what happened from there. So there's multiple levels that we are gonna bounce from there, right? And I did give warnings that there's a high chance you're gonna get this buyers that come in here and defend this level. This is the level that basically caused this spike. So you had an accumulation here, and they re-added, but this zone broke this high. So this level is fairly important. Now look, they brought it. And remember, I talked to you guys about the dealers and, we call them, basically the dealers, the locals, the other time frame people. Me, you guys, we trade usually within balance and within a large balance, like monthly balances, right? Like we are in now. Me and you cannot break the tops and bottoms, the extremes, the value area high and lows. That's where other time frame buyers and sellers come in, meaning the big boys come in, right? So if you think about it, right, the big boys come in these levels and they basically set the tones that they're going to defend. We cannot have enough money to find the bottoms, and a lot of people that look for bottoms and tops, they get crushed. And if you guys remember when I talk about shorting, I want to see a weakness, right? I want you to go above a level that's a pivot for us. What did we say about 415 on Friday? Does anyone recall? There was this 416.25 level. What did we say about this level? You guys recall?
Above that, you come to retest and then you go higher, and if you lose it, then that rejection you play.
So the goal was if you reclaim that 40.15 on smaller time frames, we had a consolidation right below it, right? So you had here you consolidating and then you spiked, and our target was 462. I would say we came very close to it, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna hit it once we open tonight. But then the idea is the question that you got to ask yourselves: are there long time sellers sitting here? Because if you zoom out on 65 minutes, did we change much? Here's your, if you look at this area here, this is the area that was support previously, It's not like we broke much. And then your monthly VWAP or recent high VWAP. And I don't know if you guys know or how to use it. So we have the scripts, right? The orbit VWAP, you guys see it? And if I look at that, it's kind of printing this monthly, if you want to call it, or whatever this line is. So now what I do sometimes, I'll look at the anchored VWAP as well from longer periods of time. So for instance, if I look at the old time anchored VWAP, I can grab that, from here, and I can see, because it's still related to volume, I can see where the old time anchored VWAP is. In this case, you guys see it kind of converging with this one right at that 477 level. Well, my recent low, I can also see, where's my recent low VWAP, and it's right here. So in terms of VWAP, right, and volume weighted average here, we're into a squeeze. This is like a major move gonna come up here. And this move could lead probably 200 points up or down. You break this level where we were, you get 200 points. And I know just from the clouds perspective, we said if we lose that 39.50, remember 39.48 level, that was a weekly mid, the 3,700 was in play, which was 200 points. And now I really believe if they are able to catch this break here, call it 477 and over, there's a chance that we can catch 41.40, and over that I really do think that they would go probably for about 4,400. And then I can just turn on longer picture, right, just to kind of get the sentiment what's going on. I can see if they are able to get over here, this level that we've hit previously multiple times, the next biggest shelf would be somewhere around about 4,400 that we would have it. Does that make sense? So quick analysis, I'm able to see where the value is and what's going on. Okay. Anyone confused?
No.
Nope.
Okay. So now if you look at the monthlies, right, if we go back to 4 hours, and let me just hide this guy for a moment. Well, we can keep it. I don't think it bothers anyone. So here's your January. So right now, January value area high is there. And where's your value area low for the monthly? of, February.
4062.
So watch this. I'll remove this. It's right here. So now my January value area high is at 40.77. So why would is there a reason for anyone to trade this range right here?
Now DNT, definitely DNT.
This is what you don't trade. This is something that you would not want to be in, right? Because this is going to be a chop. We want to get in. If we want to get inside this value area now, we want to see us get in, get rejected, and then take a long here and drive it to this POC, which would be right around this monthly VPOC, which is what, like 41.30-ish. So this becomes our range, which is also a value area high from somewhere here. It looks like whatever that level was. Well, maybe it was this level here that was driving it.
September.
Yeah, yeah, that's the September. So 41.50. So this would be an interesting range for me to get out. If I'm able to reclaim that level, hold the value, high chance I go to the POC. If I reclaim the POC, then, right, I would have to reclaim it like this. Then I know the 4200 is in play. And these are the pivot points for me that I base my bias off of. If we are above a pivot, like we talked about 40.15 on Friday, I said break 40.15, high chance you go there. And, those, I think we got into the lottery 40.50s at like 50 cents. Some of you got it at 55. And I said most likely hits 5 if it decides to do that. And they did hit 5. And just think about it. If you put in $50 and let's say you had stop loss of something, in the lottery, usually you wanted more than 50%, at least that's how I play it. But if you risk 50% to make 1,000, that's not bad. Right. So that's how I at least frame these pivot points in my head. So now these are my key pivot points for long. You need to be over this level for me to consider it. I need you to reclaim February value area low, but also at the same time, I want to make sure what in terms of buyers and sellers from this area. I want to make sure that these long-term sellers here are gone. I want to make sure that they are not active, but if we are able to go over and accept it, then I know these guys were not as aggressive and that we might go higher. Because right now, in terms of structure, right, you have overlapping value areas, but this is so far as, here was bullish. It's just that you had a P shape here and you closed way below it. Somebody here was not happy at this POC. So if I'm going to come up to here, I want to reclaim and I will get out here. And most likely this seller would join probably again and start selling from this 41.30. If this seller is gone, then I take this bullish and that's my pivot point for longer. So 41, whatever this level is, let's call it 37. And we have September value area high, 41.53. If we are able to go above that, then I know, that value area high of February is the value area that we're going for. In terms of trading, it's all about perceptions of values. Whether you're a short-term trader, right, you're trading in balance. Extreme long-term buyers and sellers, they're the only ones that usually buy at the top or sell at the top, buy at the bottom of these value areas. And they're the guys that can set the bottoms and the tops, but they're also the people or whoever they are, that can cause the imbalances. Me, you, and all the retailers, it would have to be an orchestrated sell or buy for us to drive that, to break a balance of February. This usually takes initiative sellers of short-term and long-term sellers initiation to become a little bit more aggressive to get out. And if you look at this picture right here, I mean, I would say that at this level, they became fairly aggressive. They bounced it, they failed. And then, so now for me, this is a really, really pivot point, right? Is there a high chance that they gap over and ignore this level? Yes. But then it's going to be important when they get to this POC. And if they gap forward, in my mind, it's like, okay, well, maybe the seller is baiting more. He can get a better bang for his buck and sell majority here. And that's what I'll be looking, and you see a nice skinny belly here. If we get in here, if you want to be really risk averse, clear the shelf here and then go higher, you have about 30, 40 points. But I would trust this value area here, clearance. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
DZ? What's DZ do? Okay, so that's higher picture, like kind of what I'm looking at from this. And then, you know, if you go back into your weeklies, just to turn this off, go here. So here's your weeklies. And if you guys look here, this was, you know, one range on the top here is where they consolidated. So if I was to grab from here to here, I would know, you know, if you're able to get in here, there's a high chance then you're setting up for that 4190 run, which would be kind of here on the top of this area. So that's something that I would be kind of watching for longer picture. Regain that, we really open up the doors for 4200. For now, this is my kind of pivot for tomorrow, right? And if I look at the bearish side, right? The week prior value area was, I think, 40.34 1/4. Yep. So if we fall back inside of this one, then there's a high chance that we can probably visit the 403 to make sure being outside of this value here is going to be a bounce. Most likely they will bring it here and a bounce. And if I was to look at just the volume profile perspective from here to here, you know, it really looks poor. This is a pretty poor structure that we had, I would say, for 2 days. There's really not much volume being dispersed here, right? So you can buy here, but I would be cautious. There's a high chance we come back to this level fairly soon. And we could play the bounce off of that. But in terms of value areas, honestly, still here. And if you look at this, this is also a big volume profile for the weekly. Had a lot of range. I mean, it had 4,000 to, you know, it had 200 points. So if you're able to reclaim that level, which is again in the 70s range, it changes the behavior. But for me, I would say anywhere, if you grab this now, so look here from January to here, you're still holding the ranges. You know, this has been a massive range here, and this one being, okay, maybe if I grab the tool, this is our range now that you're in. So if you grab, let's say from this one to current, this is where we at, and there's a high chance you're going to be pushing here. So if you reclaim this POC, we know you're going to be at least pushing 4100. Retest here, and there's a high chance we could potentially target the next set. So 4077 for me is going to be kind of pivotal level here. This 476. I know I can catch at least 24 points to the upside to 4100. Okay. So that would be the game plan kind of for ES. Of course, I would mark the PDs, PD value areas, lows, highs. So just because I didn't talk about it, I would not ignore it. Let me hide the PVP so you guys can see it. This one is fixed. And here's your, you know, VPOCs, right? So you have a VPOC at 3950 here. This is gonna be, like I mentioned, it's gonna be retested here. And in terms of profile here, the only one that would hold much value on these pullbacks, I would say, is somewhere around here. You have this range from here. This would be about 418. And then you have this one here, 4,000, a high volume node as well. If you're able to break below 4,000, I mean, you have these shelves here, but they're more on a bearish side initially because they sold off from here and then they accumulated in between these zones, which is where they got it right here. They accumulated. So they could potentially dump it here, but once you lose this, I would say 39.75-ish, easy, you know, 30, 40 points. Below here, you can short this to 4.3. That's easy, 15, 16 points. Below this, you have 39.80, and that's 20 points. And that's how I would look at it, especially if you're trading quick, 0 DTEs or 1 DTEs, which I recommend now because there's a lot of volatility with 0-day options, to play the ranges and the zones and just be happy to take those profits. Otherwise, they're gonna flip it on you, and excuse me, you're gonna regret that. And what I'll do is I'll update the levels, clean them up, and I'll post them with the plan in the morning for you guys, and I'll be live tomorrow as well. So,
hey, Shorty.
4077 is key for me tomorrow.
Awesome.
Oh, Shorty, I was just looking at clouds on ES on 4 hours, and I'm not sure, but I see the MACD of the daily top at like -18. It's around at 4160 zone.
What?
I'm not sure, like, I don't know if my
4
clouds are
hours?
off, but yeah, on ES on 4 hours, the daily top has a MACD of -18.
Let's see. I don't know how, I can't tell here how.
Oh, you gotta remove the clouds and re-add it. I think sequence added the labels.
Let me just do this. Shift hour. Ah, there it goes. So 4 hours. Daily. Should bring it back. I guess I gotta select this.
No, I
Yeah,
mean
so
like
the
ES.
daily is -20, yeah. Where's the daily top?
Around like 4160. So
Change this color fill. Yeah, and I honestly think that's doable. Once you break this level, I honestly think you have these two levels in between. That was the 4180 that I talked about earlier. That I think this is not a bad range for it. You break this, high odds you're going for this run up here.
yeah, from clouds, it's pretty much open space.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, I think that'll be it for me. I'll post the levels on ES and the plan on what I'm seeing for the pivots. You know, what the plan is for Monday. I've been talking since 8:30. My throat's just getting too dry at this point. And I have to get my son's soccer game. He has another one today. Yeah, at 2 o'clock.
Thanks a lot, Shorty.
All
Thanks a
right,
lot.
thank you for your Sunday.
All right, thank you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good